Hi, welcome to Coffee with Chocolate Cake series. For those of you who are here first time, Coffee with Chocolate Cake series are the short interviews with breeders, goldfish keepers, hobbyists, and I usually ask the same set of questions just to show that there is no single rule for perfect goldfish keeping and to achieving great results. Goldfish keeping is a little bit like playing the piano. First you need to learn some rules, but then you close your eyes and play with your heart. Today's episode will be different than any other because I have also a very special guest. First of all, this is the first episode when I speak in English because I had so many questions to the guest that we decided to divide the interview into two parts, and first part will be on my channel and the second part will be on Goldfish Corner. So you may guess who is my guest. I need to admit that he is my guru because I think we have things in common. For us, goldfish keeping is not just having live ornament at home, but it's also about learning their culture and history. Lei is from China and he is like walking encyclopedia. He knows everything about goldfish, but he is also from China, so he is close to the roots and he is happy to explain everything we need to know. Hi Lei, thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm really honored to have you on my channel. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi guys, this is Lei from Goldfish Corner. First of all, thank you Joanna for the invite to the beautiful YouTube channel Captain Chocolate Cake, which is a very interesting name. Appreciate it for the invite and also appreciate the opportunity to talk with new friends and to exchange our opinion on goldfish keeping and goldfish culture. So as usual, just give you a quick intro about myself. And again, my name is Lei, L-E-I, and I have my YouTube channel called Goldfish Corner. So if you just search inside YouTube, just type in Goldfish Corner, the first link is my channel. I originally from China. I grew up there. I started to my goldfish keeping hobby when I was a kid in middle school, 7th grader. And my father, he is a great influencer. I learned goldfish from him. We have so much fun time, or daddy and son's time together, and talk about goldfish and also have so much fun, a lot of learnings. And then when I was 24, I moved to the US and continued my advanced degree. I am a PhD in mechanical engineering, and I work in the oil and gas company. That's my official job. Still keep my hobby at goldfish keeping, and I noticed there's a big gap between the goldfish naming and also goldfish history, goldfish culture to the Western world. And but on the other hand, I was so touched by the passion, by the enthusiastic from the people from the world. So I talked to myself, what about I try my best to build a YouTube channel to spread the goldfish culture and also goldfish knowledge to the world.
Thank you for that. And let's start with the first question. This is the question I always ask, but I always have really surprising answers. So can you share one, or how many as you want, advice for new goldfish keepers?
3 things, very straightforward. The first one is starting from the basic. The second one is have a strong heart. And the third one is connect to the world and use goldfish as a window. Let me start with the first one, starting from the basic. You know, there's over 150 different type of species of goldfish in the world. They have Chinese goldfish, Japanese goldfish, Thai goldfish, a lot of fancy goldfish. And you're gonna be amazed so many breeds or different species of goldfish. But please, for new goldfish keeper, starting from the basic. I mean, you don't have to go with a fancy goldfish, which cost over easily $300 or $400 US. You could just start with comet goldfish, those simple goldfish, and just keep it in your water tank. By the way, no more goldfish bowl. Please use aquarium or outside pond to your goldfish keeping. And to get the water right, to get the feeding schedule right, and to get things started. You know, maybe the goldfish is your thing. Maybe the goldfish is not that interest to you eventually. But the least thing you want to do is start from the high end. Like start a very fancy goldfish with like raccoon or celestial eye or those pearl scale, those fancy goldfish, which is really hard to breed or to keep. And very likely 2 or 3 weeks later, your fish died because your skill is intro level. So always start with basic, and if you fail, do it again, no big deal. That's perfect segue for my second point is have a big heart or have a strong heart. I'll tell you, the hard fact is any advanced or any senior level goldfish keeper made the goldfish died. Not one time, not 2 times, many times. That happens to me, that happens to many other goldfish keepers. So it's very normal that your goldfish passed away. Don't feel bad. You didn't mean to do that way. It's just part of your learning curve. So, on the other hand, many people building connection with goldfish as a pet, nothing wrong with that. I also build a connection with my goldfish, each single one, and I give them a name. But if they passed away, this is not because that's your intention. Your intention to give them a good thing, but it's just because your scale is not ready or your local water is not ready. And that's gonna be part of your learning curve. You will make your next time better. So do not feel bad. Just be resilient, be strong, and be tough. And get another goldfish and do it again. Just redo. So have a strong and tough heart. And the third one is get connected. Goldfish originated in China, but goldfish is also part of the world. Goldfish belongs to the world. So every country or every society always put their culture stamp to the characteristics of different goldfish breeds. So learn goldfish as a symbol, as a platform to learn the other culture, the other country's culture or the other country's history. Why they named this way? What's the story behind this breed? Use this one as a tool to understand others, understand the other country, understand the other culture. I always see there's no right or wrong in goldfish world. Even though the goldfish naming is so confusing, and even the same breed, different country has different naming, but that's okay. That's why goldfish is a symbol of diverse and inclusion. So overall, there's 3 suggestions for the new goldfish keeper.
Thank you. And I think the connection is key word of this whole interview here. Without connections, I wouldn't be able to meet you and meet other breeders and keepers, which I'm always trying to show you here on this series. Because of keeping goldfish, I also made so many good friendships, like the one with Eva, and you saw her in my last episode. And I'm just really curious if you ever met somebody just because you both keep goldfish. So if yes, please let me know in the comments. Let's move to the next question. I may have some guesses, but I'm really curious, what is your favorite goldfish breed and why?
First of all, my favorite goldfish style is the traditional Chinese goldfish. There's a group of goldfish breed satisfies that category, such as your telescope, butterfly, goldfish, or oranda, and also celestial eye goldfish. But among these traditional Chinese goldfish, my favorite breed is the royal red goosehead, or sometimes you call it red goosehead goldfish. And let me tell you why. First of all, just like Ranchu, sometimes people call Ranchu is the king of Japanese goldfish. So what is the king of traditional Chinese goldfish? To my mind, or to me, royal red goose goldfish is the one. The way it's beautiful is its history. It started from the royal family in China, which is in the Forbidden City. Early on, only forbidden imperial family could keep those. The second one is it's an eggfish with smooth back, no dorsal fin. Also has massive head growth, but the head growth only limited on top the fish head. There's nothing on the side of the gills, or there's nothing behind their head. And also they need to be ruby red on the color. And there's a lot of standard criteria on the rose goldfish. And the other reason is royal red goosehead is very rare. It's also very hard to keep. So many reasons make me feel our royal red goosehead is the king of Chinese goldfish, just as my opinion.
Thank you, and I was guessing so. I think you can have a look on more of those beautiful fish on Goldfish Corner channel as well. Now my question is a little bit more complicated. I see different trends around the world in goldfish keeping and how it develops. It's very interesting to see, and you are the best person to ask about China. So my question is, like, would you see any trends or differences in goldfish keeping in the past versus now? And can you see any trends? How is it going to be in the future?
And I really love this question, basically asking, what's the difference between modern Chinese goldfish keeping versus traditional Chinese goldfish keeping, and what's the trend and direction? This is a great question, because the way you ask this question, Joanna, you actually trying to connect between yesterday and today, and also you're trying to see the vector. This is, as I said, you have to connect to the dots. I mean, this is a great question. So I see a couple of trends, which is very interesting. The first trend is the side view goldfish will be more and more popular. For instance, the whole reason of Chinese rancho and the whole reason of more attention on Rakingu goldfish is all because the modern aquarium, the fish tank, the glassy fish tank. That is why people used to see the goldfish from the top, and because the technology evolved, and that's why the side view goldfish gain a more attraction in the modernized goldfish keeping. And also you have all the electronic equipment, all the filter, all the water tests, and even all the medicines. Okay, one thing is side view gain more attractions. The second one, which is interesting, is people tends to go back to the traditional way of Chinese gold fishing. Just to be clear, the best view for all the traditional Chinese goldfish is the top view. Very simple reason, in the past there's no aquarium tank. All the fish keep in the pond or the clay pod or clay reservoir. That is why the only view goldfish is top view. For instance, if you see the telescope butterfly, you have to view from the top. And if you put a telescope butterfly from side, it's not as pretty as top view. So people want to go back to tradition. The more and more, especially for the high skill or advanced skill goldfish keeper in China, even in US, they build their own pond. They keep in the fiberglass tank. They try to use the traditional way. They keep the fish out the door. That's actually make the fish more colorful, more healthy, because of natural sunlight, and also make the water, the green carpet algae will naturally grow. So the second trend is people want to go back to the tradition. And the top skill is the electronic free, which means the people only use the traditional way. There's no chemical stuff, and no pump, and no filter. Everything just one green water, and that's it. So I guess the third one, the international exchange, is getting more and more extraction. Goldfish keeping in China has been more than 700 or 800 years, and there's many traditional textbook written in Chinese, and none of this book get translated to the Western world. And that's one of the work that I kind of collaborated with one of the university professor in China. We're trying to translate this in English. On the other hand, ranchu or Thai goldfish, that is the goldfish outside of China, and they actually exchange. So the different style got fused, and that is why you see more and more new breed, more and more new type of goldfish pop up. The reason, because people exchange, especially because the internet, Facebook, YouTube, and people connected. For instance, I never know Joanna. We're living in a different world, but because of goldfish, we connected. The same as you, we don't know each other, but we feel resonated to each other because we all like goldfish, and we can talk goldfish forever. That's why the international exchange is getting more attraction. So all the three things, I think, kind of a dominant trend between yesterday and today's goldfish keeping, which is the side view gain attraction, and the people, especially high-skilled goldfish keeper, trying to go back to the traditional goldfish keeping, which is electronics free. And the third one, which is the international exchange or international collaboration.
Thank you. And let's move to another question, which is, question which always raises emotions because there are different styles of goldfish keeping. What is the best temperature to keep goldfish in your opinion?
Now, here we go, technical question pop up. Yeah, what's the best temperature for goldfish? This is actually, I can talk about 30 minutes for this type of technical question, which is really associated. What are those factors going to affect goldfish body shape, goldfish color, and the goldfish growth speed? So what are those factors? That could be environmental, that could be scheduling, right? How often you feed the goldfish. So there are many. So the temperature is one of the key factors. Just to be clear, goldfish is cold blood animal or cold blood fish. Basically, their temperature affected by the ambient temperature. It's actually just like a wild fish is supposed to live outside. That is their original place to live. The same thing for now. So I would see the temperature is actually pretty wild. It's actually, you can keep it from 2 degrees C to 27 degree. So it's pretty wide range. It's pretty seasonal. Goldfish is not a tropical fish. You don't have to keep it around 25, 27 C in the green zone of your temperature meter. That's not for goldfish. Goldfish love seasonal temperature, but remember this, it's okay to have a temperature variation, but never give sudden temperature change. Always slow or no change as long as temperature is constant. And one of the reasons, just give you the tip, do this experiment. If you keep your goldfish at a constant temperature, let's say at 25 C, what's going to happen? Very likely the goldfish will not breeding the next generation, because the constant temperature is actually damage their hormone production, and eventually that's to make the goldfish breed or to lay the eggs to produce next generation. They need a valley temperature, basically from high temperature slowly drop to the low temperature, and that's going to be their trigger point, and the temperature slowly back up around 18 C or 20 C. That's the time they start breed or make next generation or lay down the eggs. So that's actually show one of the case how important of goldfish temperature. But just one thing, if you need to remember, constant temperature, try to keep it as constant as much as you can. And also goldfish actually love the seasonal temperature. It's no problem. It is outdoor fish.
Thank you for your answer. I never knew there is a hormone associated with the temperature. It started to make sense after your explanation. I can see some trends in my own goldfish, and it helps me to understand them better. My next question is actually a little bit longer, but I'm a member of Bristol Aquarius Society, and we have monthly meetings when we have usually a guest speaking about one particular subject. And I really love the club because it gives opportunity for people to meet from around the world, because the meetings are online and they happen usually once a month on Mondays. And on the last meeting we had a really interesting guest and really nice slideshow. The member was talking about his stay in China, which took probably several years, as I remember, and he was showing us different type of goldfish he saw there, and most of them were like common goldfish, usually in the ponds or near the monks. But even in the shops, he was showing something which he was calling Oriental fantail, which was twin-tailed goldfish, but not really high grade. So I was wondering where in China we can see the show quality fish, higher grade fish, and what is the trend now in China? Do people keep them? I was just thinking or asking myself, who is buying fish from Mr. Pan's farm, for example, the really nice show quality high grade fish?
Thank you, Joanna. This is a very interesting story. I think my first word pop up in my mind for this question is connection. First of all, I appreciate your being connected with other goldfish keeper in your own goldfish society, which is great. And the second of all, you also share a story about one of your society member visit China. And unfortunately, he did not see a very different variety of different fancy goldfish. Instead, they only showed a picture of very common goldfish. So the question is really where and who you visit, right? So everything is needed connection. For instance, I can share a few pictures that I visited China a few years ago. Normally, you could not just visit a regular shop. There's not a goldfish shop. So first of all, I show you a few pictures so you can see. Yeah, so this is the goldfish picture, sort of a group of pet store in Beijing a few years ago that I visited. You can see they're not just sell the goldfish, but other, plants and all kinds of stuff, and also birds. This is one of the store inside the pet group. I just visited one of the stores. This is the red cap oranda. This one you see a lot of ranchu. Not as secure as Pan's ranchu, but this is actually pretty good. This one, the price is shockingly low. This is a 40 RMB Chinese dollar, which is equals to about $6-7 each of this fish, and this is about $2 each of this raccoon. And this is basically for kids, right? This is all the goldfish is normally varies from $0.50 to $1 per each. The goldfish is about 1 inch to 2 inch long. Yeah, so I think obviously you need to visit the right store. I mean, even though I did not visit a famous goldfish farm, but I still able to see a variety of different fancy goldfish. But back to your question, right? Who actually keep those show quality or high quality goldfish? There's a quite bunch of people keep the goldfish. They tend to become a two group, right? One is just a common intro level. Every people keep the goldfish at entry level. That's a very common goldfish. I think that's the store your friends visit. But the majority of advanced, skilled goldfish keepers, they actually purchase goldfish online. I mean, even in China, there's so many goldfish farms, but those goldfish keepers, especially for the advanced goldfish keepers, they still purchase the goldfish online. And if you go to the right website, you're going to shock. You're going to see a lot of beautiful goldfish, plus the price is unbelievable low. So let me show you some website. First of all, I just randomly searched this website. This is in the Jingdong website. I just simply put it as high quality ranchu goldfish. You could see this is the price in RMB. For instance, this kind of a redhead ranchu, the price roughly about $10 each. This is kind of the cow ranchu. It's about $3 each, right? And this is also kind of a calico goldfish. You can see they have lots of those goldfish. This is Chinese lionhead ranchu. This is lemonhead ranchu. This is a cowhead. This is a cow ranchu, milk cow ranchu. We can go over here. This one is actually, if you click here, for instance, this one, if you buy it online, if you are in China, this one is only cost under $50 to $60 for this milk ranchu. So they also has all kinds of online bidding form or auction forms, and you can buy. So really, if you are in China, you are in a great advantage of access those resources, and you can buy those high quality goldfish online, and then they just deliver this normally within 48 hours. So yes, answer to your question, there's a lot of advanced goldfish keeper, but they have access to a lot of online resources. They purchase the high grand goldfish online. I guess the question is, how do I get contact with those people? I think there are a couple of ways. One way is obviously you have to stay connected, and you have to go to the right website. And in China, everyone uses the WeChat. So if you go to the WeChat, there's a certain group. You join the group very similar to the Facebook group, and you know the people, and eventually you can visit them, so you can check their goldfish. The other way is to visit a goldfish farm. Some goldfish farm does open to the public. You can go to the website and visit goldfish farm. Let me show you just some picture that I'm talking about. Advanced goldfish keeper. So this one is actually one of a old style, probably around 1990s. And this gentleman, his name is Mr. Liu Jingchun. So he's a goldfish master. You can see he is one of the regular residents in Beijing. This is the old way. There's no electronics. Everything just stay handmade. You see the green water. You see the beautiful. This is the Chinese lion head without a dorsal fin. This is how they keep the goldfish within a huge, this wooden top. This is a huge wooden top. This is the traditional way of goldfish. As I said, electronics free. I could talk more about traditional Chinese goldfish keeping, but for the time's sake, I just want to show you. The second way is obviously this is Mr. Pan Goldfish Farm in Fuzhou. So you have to visit there and they will show you the goldfish. But the other thing I want to mention, typical for this style, the majority, believe it or not, most of the goldfish in China is actually internal market for goldfish people only. The southern China, the goldfish farm, they tend to do more exporting. For instance, the Fuzhou goldfish, they always goes to the Southeast Asia country like Thai and Indonesia, Malaysia, those countries. They also ship it to Japan. They also keep a quite big stream goldfish export from China to Europe. The same thing here for the US. The quality of goldfish exporting is kind of a mix. I think the majority is still common goldfish. For instance, comic goldfish or even the telescope goldfish. But the show quality or the superior quality goldfish is starting to pick up. It's really because the global market, they kind of are picking up the high brand or high quality goldfish. So overall, I think that's kind of my impression to answer your question. Again, yes, there's still a lot of Chinese breeder or Chinese goldfish keeper like the traditional and fancy Chinese goldfish, but they only purchase online and they don't have the local store anymore. But if you want to visit those goldfish pet store, you have to know the location, you have to have a connection. In order to get into the connection, you need to go to the website, in the WeChat, find a particular WeChat group to join and build your friends, make your friends over there. And also besides the individual friends, you can also visit the Chinese goldfish farm in China. Well, thank you so much for the invite. I really enjoy have the conversation with you, Joanna. Great question. And hopefully we're going to finish the second part of this interview very soon. All right, guys. Thank you, Joanna, and appreciate all the friends from Captain Chocolate Cake channels. Very great channel on goldfish keeping. Please keep it up, all the good work. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you again for answering the questions and thank you for watching. If you would like to know anything more about the goldfish culture, history, there is no better place than Goldfish Corner channel, which is linked in the description below. I cannot wait for the second part of the interview, which will be posted in Goldfish Corner channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.